Tonight on News 13.
Police are often warned about using excessive force, but when does it become a problem? I'll have that story coming up.
Somebody in Greater Hazleton can go on one serious shopping spree. We'll tell you where a $1 million Powerball ticket was sold.
A local jewelry store is closing its doors for good, but first they're holding a sale you won't want to miss. I'll have that story.
This is News 13 Now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to News 13 Now. I'm Kathy Bazinski. It's been a big part of the Greater Hazleton community for decades, but now it's preparing to close its doors. Howard's Jewelers is going out of business, and as Christina Papa reports, the decision to close is a very personal one.
Almost every day for the past 30 years, Mark Frumpkin has opened the doors of Howard's Jewelers here at the Laurel Mall.
Always loved what I've done. My parents have loved this. My mom and dad had a dream that someday they'd have one of the nicest jewelry stores anywhere, you know? And I think we've accomplished that.
Today, the store was quiet. There were no customers. In fact, the front gate stayed closed while employees worked to mark down prices.
Now is definitely the time to shop with the prices like they are. You couldn't get better deals anywhere.
The prices of wedding rings, holiday gifts, and just because jewelry items will be drastically reduced. It's all part of Howard's going out of business sale.
I just feel it's time for me to go into the next phase of my life. You know, whatever that is, it's just time for me.
Frumpkin says he regrets not spending enough time with his family, especially his daughter, when he was younger. Now that he's a grandfather, he says he's not going to make the same mistake.
And she handed me that kid, and that was pretty much the end of the game for me.
Longtime customers and employees say the closing is bittersweet.
Wonderful memories, good coworkers, fantastic boss.
He sold me my china when I got married. He also sold me my wedding rings. We go way back, and I'm going to miss the staff.
But before the doors close for good, the store is marking down prices.
And once the gates open tomorrow, they'll hold the sale through the holiday season. But Howard's Jewelers says come while the selection is best.
Some inventory will be sold at up to 70% off, but once it's gone, it's gone. Howard's Jewelers does not have an exact closing date yet, but he does plan to close the store after the holiday season.
It's been great. It's been great.
Christina Papa, News 13, Hazel Township.
Well, if you played the Powerball this weekend, check your number and maybe get ready to go shopping. A $1 million ticket for Saturday's drawing was sold at a store in Hazleton. A Powerball ticket worth $1 million from Saturday's drawing was sold at Grand Smoke Shop right off Broad Street in Hazleton. The card correctly matched all 5 white balls, 10, 29, 37, 44, 59, but not the red Powerball 10 for a $1 million second-tier prize. The card holder hasn't come forward yet to claim that prize. Grand Smoke Shop will receive a $5,000 bonus for selling the ticket, and today the shop had plenty of excited customers.
I think it's great. I wish it was me. I think it's a good thing for everyone, you know. So if you got a chance, and it's a good Christmas present, whoever gets it.
I think it's great for the person that won it. God bless them. Next time it might be me.
Lottery winners have 1 year from the drawing date to claim their prizes and can file a claim at any of the lottery's 7 area offices, including the one in Wilkes-Barre. A new place to shop in Greater Hazleton and plenty to pick from. The Freeland Marketplace held its grand opening over the weekend. And as Samantha Galvez tells us, the marketplace has tons to offer.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. What was once known as Shelley's Lumber Yard is now Freeland's new marketplace.
We definitely want to make it a marketplace. Fruits, vegetables, anything.
That's the benefit of flea markets, because you have every aspect that you can think of. Everybody has something different to offer, and it's a great opportunity to see what's out there.
The marketplace sells anything and everything, ranging from tools, crafts, NFL products, antiques, cosmetics, and much more. Tabitha DeNoya says the best part about flea markets isn't just the great prices, but also
vintage items. Absolutely. I love to go to flea markets and look for those vintage items that you can't find anymore in the stores.
One unique thing about this marketplace is that items will be sold inside and outside. Roback says that as the seasons change, she's hoping to sell an even larger variety of items, such as produce, Christmas trees, and anything else that will fit in the building.
Different variety, but we're still looking for new vendors and more stuff. You know, football's in season right now, so hopefully we get somebody there.
Roback said the word spread so fast about the new market that she was worried there wouldn't be enough room for all the vendors.
The vendors are thrilled, so it's a good start.
The market is only open 3 days a week for now, but Roback says if they need more hours, they'll add them. And with the holiday season coming up, it's something they're counting on.
Today was great. I'm really happy, really happy.
It's a great opportunity for this area. So far, it's taking off to a wonderful start.
The market will be open to the public on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. For more information and store hours, you can visit the website at the bottom of your screen. Samantha Galvez, News 13, Freeland.
A frightening experience in Tamaqua over the weekend when an explosion rocked the night along Race Street.
Maybe if it was still coming over the fence.
They're lucky that it did shatter the windows.
Neighbors heard and felt two very loud bangs around 1:30 Saturday morning. One of them looked out the back door after hearing the first bang. That's when he saw the second explosion take place on the deck of 124 Ray Street. That neighbor ran over and threw burning cardboard and other items off the deck and into the street. He suffered some minor burns.
One big bang, and then I heard another one, but I looked out before the other one went off. Seeing a red flash, came running downstairs. Next door neighbor was actually out, and he's told me that it was on fire.
Why us? Like, stay away. We don't bother you. Don't bother us.
But at least I'm just happy that we got a house still.
And I hope whoever did it gets caught and they're sit in jail for it, too. That's what I hope. It's just not fair.
Police say they think the explosions were triggered by some M80s, which damaged the side of one of the houses. Tamaqua Crime Watch is offering a $300 reward for any information on those involved. Charges of police brutality were recently hurled following the recent shooting death of a man by Hazleton police. Well, concerns about police action is now being highlighted by a film about the beating death of a California man. As Matthew Petrillo tells us, use of force is an ongoing concern for our local police.
Get off the train now!
Fruitvale Station is a movie about police brutality. It centers around Oscar Grant.
Good, I'm good. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
A 22-year-old man who's shot in the back by transit police. The story of Grant and the events leading up to his death are portrayed in the movie, characterizing him as innocent.
Use of force is the level of force that an officer can use in order to effect an arrest.
Minersville Police Chief Michael Combs says police are trained to not use excessive amounts of force when making arrests.
If I tell you you're under arrest and I take you by the arm and you walk with me and we walk to the car, I'm using force, but that's the force necessary to make the arrest. Now, if you turn around and swing at me, now I'm going to have to, increase that force.
That makes the use of force subjective and usually in the hands of the arresting officer.
How much force did he need to get this person into custody?
Over the years, Chief Combs says, cases of excessive police force have been on the decline. But what's been increasing, he says, is brutality against police officers for not using enough force.
We remind the officers, you have to use the force necessary, but don't go overboard. But many times we see just the opposite. Officers get hurt because they aren't using enough force.
Combs says people tend to act more violently with police in major cities, and that usually is not the case here in Schuylkill County. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Minersville.
And still ahead on News 13 now, plenty of sunshine headed our way and temperatures on the mild side for November. We'll tell you all about it, News 13 weather. But first,
the AIDS Memorial Quilt comes to Penn State Schuylkill. What it means for this community coming up.
You're watching News 13 now, local and loving it.
There's a water boil advisory for residents of one Carbon County community tonight. A contractor was working to install a relief valve and broke a major water main in Beaver Meadows this morning. Water pressure immediately dropped for every resident in the borough. The contractor quickly repaired the break, but in the meantime, Beaver Meadows residents will have some dirty water, and that means it's time to boil.
We put a boil advisory on as a temporary measure until further notice. Just a precautionary until we can get the water tested and get back to the people.
Now, the mayor says the boil advisory will probably be in effect for a day or so until that testing shows the water is clear to use again. National AIDS Week is coming up, and to prepare for the week of awareness, the AIDS Memorial Quilt is on display at Penn State Schuylkill. As Matthew Petrillo tells us, it's not the first time part of the quilt has visited the campus.
It's really nice to have it back.
Matthew Hansley says the AIDS Memorial Quilt is an important part of American history. It symbolizes a time when the HIV rate was soaring to epidemic levels within the gay community.
What this signifies to me and probably some other students, is that it's not just about certain sets of people. It's a disease that affects everyone and can affect everyone.
The AIDS Memorial Quilt is considered the largest community art project in the world. And knowing that a piece of it is here at the Penn State School Library is helping give a real-life history lesson to students.
It kind of helps people to become more aware of people and people's struggles, and that it's not just for the LGBT community. It goes way beyond that.
The AIDS Memorial Quilt was created in 1985 during a candlelight memorial service for slain gay San Francisco Supervisor Harvey Milk and Mayor George Moscone. Since then, the quilt has honored the lives of more than 94,000 Americans who have lost their lives to HIV/AIDS.
The panic and hysteria, and it was an automatic death sentence.
Cece Bourne of Penn State Schuylkill Health Services says a lot has changed in medicine over the last 30 years.
People don't have the fear and that conception that you can't talk to or drink out of a cup of somebody who has AIDS or HIV, anything like that.
New medicine allows people who are tested positive with HIV to live healthier lives than before. And while there still isn't a cure for HIV, there is medicine that prevents people from getting the disease. But the best thing she says people can do is to get tested.
I think knowing your status, where you are, certainly helps with your, viability and how you're going to do in life.
Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Schuylkill Haven.
Time now for News 13 weather.
In tonight's weather shot, we're local and loving it in Foster Township, where quite frankly, I'm a little bit jealous because the municipal building already has all their Christmas lights on those big Christmas trees. But today certainly was a great day to do something like that. Checking the National Weather Service radar, we've got some problems today, so we're going to go directly to our forecast for tonight. It'll be partly cloudy with a low around 31 degrees. Then Tuesday, sunny with a high near 39, mostly clear and cold at night with a low around 26. For Wednesday, sunny with a high near 40. It'll be partly cloudy at night with a low down to 28 degrees. And for Thursday, mostly cloudy with a high near 45. Overnight low around 32. For Friday, cloudy with a high near 44. Chance of rain and snow showers at night with a low around 28 degrees. And heading to Schuylkill County for tonight, partly cloudy, much cooler, lows in the mid-30s. Then for Tuesday, mostly sunny with highs of about 43 degrees. Mostly clear and cold at night with lows in the upper 20s. For Wednesday, it'll be sunny with highs in the mid-40s. Partly cloudy at night with a low down to about 30 degrees. Then for Thursday, mostly sunny, highs at about 47. Not going to be a bad day. Overnight low in the mid-30s. And for Friday, cloudy with a chance of rain showers in the afternoon, but the high getting up to about 45 degrees. And let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you played. The daily 605, the big 4 7 7 2 8, Quinto 5 1 2 7 0, and the treasure hunt 8 10 20 21 23. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Hazleton Area Business Community and Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce members and guests are invited to take part in the 18th Annual Business Persons Holiday Social, which will be held at Hazleton City Hall Thursday, December 5th. There's a $10 fee to attend the mixer and will be held from 5 to 7 p.m. Reservations can be made by calling 570-455-1509. And finally, Christ Lutheran Church in Cunningham will be holding a vendor craft fair Sunday, November 24th from noon to 5 p.m. Lots of crafts plus homemade food, and all proceeds benefit the CLC Youth Group. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Jayla Marie DeJesus of West Hazleton. Services will be held Tuesday at 1 p.m. from the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home. Friends may call Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Marlene Pereira Sizik of Lake Hotto. Services are private from the Louis D. Truskowski Funeral Home. Jania Hitcho, formerly of Hazleton. Arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. And Adam B. Saminsky of Mountaintop. Arrangements will be announced by the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home.
This is News 13 Sports.
Well, a pretty big weekend for the folks down in hometown. The Marion Catholic Colts and the Phillies, well, they did pretty well. First of all, on Friday night, the Marion Colt football team wins the Eastern Conference Championship as they rolled over Monterey area, but the lid was blown right off things on Saturday when the Marion Phillies win their second state championship in the sport of volleyball. They're the Class A champions. They won 25-16, 25-23, 25-17, straight sets as they swept by Cochranton District 10 at Central York High School. So our congratulations go out to Dr. John Falabelle, his second state championship as a coach, and all of those fine Marion volleyball players. Of course, they won the Schuylkill League and the District 11 Single A Championship. As we said, their second state championship in school history in the sport of volleyball. So Marion, I'll tell you, a little small A school down in hometown, state championships in football, boys basketball, girls basketball, volleyball, some individual state champs. This is the latest one, and our congratulations go out to them. As you see pictured there with the spoils of victory, so to speak. Double A girls volleyball, DeLone Catholic goes away with the win. DeLone Catholic out of District 3, so the eastern part of the state sweeps the volleyball state championships. How about field hockey? Wyoming Sem Crestwood. Crestwood had an early 1-0 lead. Sem storms back. They win their third state championship in school history, 2-1, as they knock off Crestwood. Crestwood, the defending state champs. Again, you've heard it here plenty of times. The absolute power of field hockey in the state of Pennsylvania, District 2. They proved it again. Congratulations to Coach Karen Klauster and the Wyoming Seminary girls on their state championship. AAA, Lower Dolphin comes away with the win. They edged Emmaus by the score of 2-1. Now, in football, here's what we've got going on. Your winners from the weekend, Easton and Parkland. Easton rolled over East Stroudsburg South, so it's going to be Easton and Parkland this Friday night for the championship of that sub-regional and a chance to move on into states. Scranton, Wyoming Valley West played the District 2 consolation game in Wyoming Valley West. They came away with the win. Scranton done for the season. Valley West showing that they really been a pretty good team all year long. Down in the AAA level, Berwick, some were saying we're an underdog to Abington Heights. They were losing this game at halftime, but they came battling back, and Berwick advances as the AAA District 2 champ. They'll play Bethlehem Catholic Friday down in the Lehigh Valley. Meanwhile, taking a look at AA, it'll be Northwestern Lehigh advancing. They get by North Schuylkill. And in the Single A playoff bracket, as you can see, there's that bracket we talked about with Marion at the top. They're the Eastern Conference Single A champs. Congratulations to Stan Dukoski and his entire gang there. The local Penguins had a pretty good weekend. Friday, they topped Syracuse 5-3, and they defeated Hershey on Saturday by the score of 3-1. So the Pens, right there as we head into the latter part of November, they're going to be a force all season long.
Congratulations to the Marion Catholic Phillies State Championship volleyball team. More on them on Friday, but this is Trivia Treats, Monday. Hi, everybody. On this November 18th, yesterday was the anniversary of the locally famous Fog Game. Behind me is what Harmon Geist Memorial Field looked like on November 14th, 1953, 60 years ago, late in the second quarter, during the Hazelton-Pottsville football game. This shot is from where I was standing by the fence behind the goalpost on the west end of the field. I was a student at D.A. Harmon, junior high. I snuck in that Friday night under the metal wall behind the south bleachers to save 35 cents. Mercy. The Hazelton Mountaineers were hosting the Pottsville Crimson Tide on this night. HHS came into this game with a record of 5-3. The Crimson Tide was undefeated, but once tied in the conference. Pottsville was leading 9-6 midway through the second period when the fog started to roll in from the Cedar Street end of the field. The fog continued to get thicker and thicker and thicker near the end of the half. In fact, the fog got so dense it was impossible to see the players from the stands. Throwing the ball was out of the question. Players could not even see their own teammates a few feet away. It was impossible to continue as the half ended. The scoreboard was not visible. Actually, nothing was. The game was suspended at the half, with Pottsville still leading 9-6. The second half would be played on Monday. Monday? Why Monday? Why not Saturday, the following night? Because the Hazelton High players were scheduled and did attend the Army-Penn College football game at Franklin Field in Philadelphia on Saturday. The Hazel Township High team was also treated to the Army-Penn game the same day, which, by the way, Army won 21-14. The HHS Pottsville game was resumed Monday night, November 17th, and the Tide held on to win 22-19 to clinch the Keystone Conference Championship and close in on the Eastern Conference Southern Division title. Fans were admitted free to the second half of the game, and more than 3,000 sat in on the historic half of a football game. Eddie Brzeminski coached the 1953 Mountaineers. They finished at 6-5. Josie Farris led the 53 Mounts in scoring. How were other things at that time in 1953? Well, as President Ronald Reagan would say, both Gutsy's Tavern on the Heights and Mateo's Bar and Restaurant on Diamond Avenue were advertising lobster tail platters, including 2 vegetables, for 75 cents. And Pee Wee Tate's Bar on North Wyoming Street was offering a full-course chicken dinner for 65 cents. Mother of God. Till Friday. Stay loose.